guys in the 302nd here at Peterson. And N1 ROG for ID.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I appreciate the heads up toward us. I had little technical difficulties here on the stream here. They said they couldn't hear me, so I had to make sure I clicked the right button to get things going there. So hopefully we got everything up and running now. But yeah, it's there's a lot of moving parts here that we try to get going, Roger. But gosh, yeah, more than likely we covered some of the same ground. If I certainly hope I didn't pull you over or anything there, Roger.
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah, well, we didn't. We spent a little time, behind the cars, but that wasn't the primary function, of course. But one of those kind of deals that we had really enjoyed our time up in Aurora. We were supposed to go down to Oklahoma, and we got diverted down to Peterson. I guess there's worse things that could have happened, but always nice to be there on the front range, Roger.
Oh, that's for sure. I've had an opportunity to go back to the D.C. area, which is where I grew up. And, when they asked me if I wanted to go, I said, well, I can't see Pike Peak from the Beltway, so I'll stay here.
I could certainly think of worse places myself. Of course, military home is where you hang your hat. This is kind of where we end up here. We got several nearby, of course, and we left in 2017, so our total service was 33 years. We figured that was long enough.
Yeah, that's for sure. And before we get out of here, just wanted to say thank you for your service. Appreciate it, deeply.
Yeah, no problem, Roger. Hey, nice to work you, man. Congrats on the QRP. Man, that thing is awesome. Giving me a chance to rethink this about that 705. But, hey, listen, appreciate it. Nice to hear you from Peyton. I don't think I've ever had a contact in the area, along the Springs, of course. And like I said, you have an opportunity. This is live, but it also records, Roger. So if you have a chance later down the road or something, you want to go to the channel. Again, it's my call, K0RWB. Give a look and listen. All of our videos are dated with today's date on it, of course, as well. So anyway, hey, listen, enjoy the rest of your evening. Hope we'll have another opportunity to work before the end of the year. We do have a special event coming up over Christmas called the Christmas Train. We'll have special event calls for that as well. And we'll have a bunch of us out there working, so hopefully we'll get you in one of those logs as well. Hey, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for your time. Nice to work you for the first one. And look forward to another one. Congrats, man. I'm really impressed with that 705, man. Doing a terrific job for you. We'll say 7-3s for now. November 1, Romeo Oscar Golf in Peyton, Colorado. Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo.
Hopefully you have a great in, and thanks for the comeback. 7-2, and when RG clear.
All right, Roger, you take care, my friend. Take care. 7-3s. K0RWB, QRZ. Any other stations, please? Come with your call. And we'll roll it over again and see what happens. This is Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Calling CQ on 40 meters. Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Calling CQ on 40, any stations, anywhere.
This is Kilo, November 4, Yankee Mike Foxtrot.
Well, I don't know if you could be any louder than that, Lee, but gosh, good signal coming into Kansas City. Thanks for coming back to the CQ. Appreciate it very much. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. I'm above ground, so things are good. It's been raining a lot here in Tennessee, and but at least it's warm, so I gotta be grateful. It's always good to have a gratitude list. You're 10 over 9 here in Morristown, Tennessee. 10 over 9, great signal. You got the best signal on the band right now.
Well, I appreciate that very much, but I only see just a couple of signals out there, so but we'll certainly take it. Nice one on you, 5.9 plus, here into the Kansas City metro area this evening, and we've been a little drizzly ourselves here today. I think we're getting a little bit of peak of some sunshine tomorrow. It'll be nice if we've been cloudy all week, and then, boy, that's awful tough to get through that, but nice to see that maybe the weather will change. It's like anywhere else this time of year, you never know what you're going to get, and we certainly can't make any changes, so we just learn to work around it. But yeah, nice to have a signal. And 1, 2, 3. This is our fourth contact, and that last one, gosh, it seems like time to fly. December 23rd, 2021. So we're definitely due again there, Roger.
Yeah, sounds good. Sometimes I forget to play radio. So of course 40 meters is fine after dark, but I like to play around on 10 meters. I'm sure you've noticed a lot of that activity. As long as you can get into your shack before dark, you make a lot of 10-meter contacts. Have you had any success on 10 meters lately?
We don't get in front of the mic much either. I do know there's been quite a bit of activity, and it seems as though the last several weeks it's been pretty good. Interesting scenario when you're here central U.S., at least in my location. Those bands are really hot and just hammer away, and all of a sudden they kind of drop off. I know, I think we had spent a little time on Monday, and we started at 10 to 12, 15, and so on and so forth, and there was a lot of activity. Very, very encouraging. Looking at the numbers today, Sunspot's 107, so that's really good. And SFI is at 148, and the KP is 0, really quiet, so we should have some really great conditions. And hopefully they will continue for a while there, Roger.
Yeah, sure hope so. This is definitely a good hobby to have, especially this time of year, when there's no yard work to do and the boat's stuck in the driveway. Not stuck in the driveway, but I'm not going to go out in the cold and rain. There's no reason to do that, but I tell you, I'm ready to get out on the lake and do some fishing, though. It's been a couple of weeks. Back to you.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I was heading south today with a friend of mine. He's my fishing partner as well, and we were commenting the same thing, that, a little drizzly and around the 40-degree temperature. And I said, if it was a tournament, that'd be one thing, but just to go out and fun fish, I don't think I'd want to head out in this weather. It's one thing to get caught in it, but it's awful hard to start in it there, Roger.
Yeah, that's true. So you fish bass tournaments? Is that what you do? I've had a lot of success over the years just throwing a Texas rig. Almost all times a year, there's bass just like that Texas rig worm. Oh, I see a couple of pictures of your fish here on QRZ. Nice job, Randy. Those are nice looking fish.
Yeah, you know what they say, the sun shines on a monkey's rear end every once in a while, so I guess we get lucky from now and again, but we certainly have fun at it. There's always people out there a little bit better, of course, but we have no problem chucking and whining, so for sure, so we like to give it a go whenever we can, and whenever we get an opportunity to get on the water, we enjoy it, even if it's just to get out there and get some wind in your hair, of course. Real quick, we got a little question of the night that we do here when we're doing our live streaming. Do you got anything that's on your Christmas list coming up there? Go ahead.
Yes, but Santa Claus is going to buy it for himself. I'm going to buy a new deep sea hull fishing boat. So that's on my Christmas list, fishing boat.
Congratulations. Hey, that's awesome. Good for you. Good for you. I got mine in April, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get a second one yet the year, but that's okay. We've only had it out a few times this year, so we're going to kind of count that. We're going to do some accessories and those kind of things, of course, but nothing really pressing on our Christmas list. We kind of hand it off to the YL, and she kind of takes care of the kids for us, and fortunately, if we need it, we just go buy it, and we count it that. The downside about having a birthday in December as well is they kind of split them up, and they say, well, this is for this and for this, so we kind of get slided there from time to time, but not like we could really pick the birthday as well, but hey, it's how things work. But nice to hear that Santa's bringing you a nice one. I hope it's a good one, and I hope you get lots of years of service out of it there. Go ahead.
Yeah, the boat I have now, the 17.5-foot Duracraft, it's nothing fancy. It's 17.5-foot, glorified John boat with a steering wheel. But I've had it for 15 years, and it's been a real good vessel. But I think I need to get something with a little bit more room in there and less jarring in the shop, And, a boat with a windshield will be nice. That way I can probably attach a bimini top to it.
Yeah, it's nice to have a little shade once in a while as well. I tried that once on the bass boat, and I kept getting the lures caught up in the bimini top because I was casting over my head and get stuck, so we weren't able to do that. So we just make sure we put on a big floppy hat and cover up as much as we can, and that's what we do. So, Lee, I won't hold you. We'll see if we can make a few contacts. We've got a little bit of time here this evening, but hey, very nice to hear you again. Like I said, I think we was overdue, almost a year. Amazing how time flies here on amateur radio. And boy, I tell you must have done something really good this year for Santa Claus to bring you a gift like that. So more power to you. We had your page pulled up there. You got some real nice pictures of that sunset as well. Hope we see some new pictures with the new boat there when it comes in around Christmas time as well. But if you hear us out here again, Lee, give us a call, and we'll just kind of pick things where we left off, no doubt. But nice to hear you this evening. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday night and the weekend coming up as well. We'll stay 7-3 to you, my friend, but don't hesitate to give us a call if you hear us out there. You and yours be safe and be well as well. Kilo November 4, Yankee Mike Fox. This is Kilowatt Zero Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thanks again, 7-3s.
Hey, 73, Randy, best to you and your family, and Merry Christmas if I don't talk to you. Thank you, Randy, 73.
All right, you take care, my friend. No problem at all. It's Kilowatt Zero Radio Whiskey Bravo, QRZ. Any other stations, please? Come with the call.
Bravo Zero, Tango Lima.
Tango Lima, given, please.
Roger. This is Kilo Bravo Zero, Tango Lima. You are 5-9 Indiana this evening. Over.
Well, Sebastian, what are you doing in Indiana?
I moved to Indiana. I took a job as the chief radio operator for a radio network out this way.
Well, you know, it would probably work out best for us on the air because we were so close together. I think we were flying over each other's head.
Yeah, you're coming in about a 5'9" here. Yeah. This year, Santa, a.k.a. myself, just purchased a Yaesu FT991 at the local Hamfest, which I got here, hooked up to my amplifier. And I just have a temporary antenna out back, a little end fed going on right now until I can get my vertical put up on the fence. The thing is, the guy hadn't come out to install my fence yet, so just bought this place out here in Fort Wayne. About April, and I've been out here since February. Actually, started off as a junior engineer, and then got promoted up to the field engineer for this region up here in Indiana. Over.
Yeah, well, good for you. And if I remember right, the amp was an ACOM 1010. I think you mentioned before, and yeah, we've had lots of contacts, of course, even a couple on 20, but gosh, again, almost a year, December 24th, which I'm sure over here in Grain Valley, of course, but gosh, it's been that long, moved out there, but yeah, that's, well, congratulations, I guess, for one, and you just kind of slid out of the metro and ended up out in Indiana. Well, hey, I hope it works out for you there, Roger.
Roger. Yeah, it looks like in the logbook, the last contact we had made, you were doing the Christmas train contest last year. Managed to reach you there. So, hey, I was talking to WW0Y a couple of months ago here. It's been a while since I've reached him, but I was reaching him a couple of months ago here as well. He hadn't heard you on much lately. Over?
Yeah, we've had an interesting spring, summer, and early fall. Between some projects that had to be taken care of work-wise, and just a nightmare with internet. Nothing that was really stable, and we did finally get the internet issue relatively squared away. It's a lot more stable, and the bandwidth is much better, and those projects are in our rear-view mirror, so we have not had much of an opportunity to get in front of the microphone. And we were trying to get this going again around the 1st of November, and a couple of crazy things kind of popped up and kind of slowed us down again. But whenever we get an opportunity here in the evenings, Sebastian, we're going to try to get out here. And of course, if we're out here in the evenings on 40, we've got the channel up and running as well. Roger.
Roger. Well, it's good to be able to finally reach the QSO. And again, because of the whole skip, I mean, I was in Green Valley, you were in Bates City. I presume you're still in Bates City. But yeah, the signal was way up in the air and was barely receivable. But should be coming in a lot stronger now. Over.
Yeah, you're doing wild. You're doing really good. Now, did you say that you're operating the 991A right now?
Just a straight up 991, yeah.
Wow, the audio is really good. It's got a nice little punch to it. And, well, you know, it's been a really popular radio. I don't know the overall difference between the 991 and the A model, but I've heard several out there. But, yeah, that sounds really good. And I was correct, though. You're still running the 1010 amplifier, correct?
Well, I was using the SB200, and I'm no longer using the SB200. Well, actually, I still use it as a backup. But right now, I'm using an LA1000NT from Amp Supply Company. A little bit nicer amplifier, and actually get about an extra 100 watts on it. Over.
Okay, well then maybe I was thinking of WW0Y. I thought it was one of you two that got in the ACOM 1010. Maybe it was him. I'm sorry if I got you guys confused.
I am pretty darn sure it was him.
Well, you know what happens when you get old. You just can't seem to forget things. But, well, you mentioned the Christmas train. We're actually doing that again this year. It'll be our second year. We've actually got a few more operators running the same calls, the special event calls. We've got that squared away with ARRL. And we'll be running this year only the 23rd to the 25th. We ran 4 days last year, but we'll be doing 3 days this year. And we've got a bunch of other, I guess you would call them associate conductors around the country this year, which will be interesting. So we're really looking forward to that as well, Roger.
Roger. So, lately I've been doing, just going back and forth to radio station sites and stuff, but doing a lot of perks on the air during my lunch break and, things of that nature. Been hauling a little FT 897 with me, so been just getting on, activating a few perks while I'm on the road between jobs and assignments, which has been kind of cool. So, I do a lot of work here in Indiana. I do some work up in Michigan, as far north as Petoskey, which is on the upper tip of the southern peninsula of Michigan, and I go as far south as Richmond, Indiana, over into New Paris, Ohio. Kind of have a large district here, manage about 32 stations. Over.
Wow, it sounds like it's going to keep you quite busy. So, well, it sounds like a move that works out well for you, and hopefully it's got a little bit of a good future for you, and you're enjoying what you're doing. And I have a feeling we'll have a much better opportunity to have more QSOs in the future, just because we've got some distance now. Of course, the logger's showing 493 miles, so that's a whole lot better than 6. So, that'll be should be interesting for us in the future there, Roger.
Roger. Well, suffice to say, I'll let you make a few more contacts there. Hey, good to talk to you there, Randy.
Now, Sebastian, the pleasure's all mine, man. Yeah, again, I've had, a lot of repeats, people I've talked to multiple times. You're one of them, of course. And like, where have you been? And it's like, well, I don't think we have that much time. But I'd like to think a lot of those hurdles are behind us now, and the challenges with the Internet's gone as well. So hopefully from here on out, smooth sailing, just make sure we've got the time to get down here in front of the microphone. And when we do, we're going to take advantage of it. But Sebastian, hey, congrats on the move. Wish we had a chance to talk earlier, but more on my end than yours. It sounds like POTA's working for you as well. And as always, if you hear us out there, give us a call, of course, and we got the stream up. Yeah, sounds really good. You should listen to this yourself. You get a chance here, go back and listen to it on the channel there, of course. Oh, before you go, you got to find out, you got anything on your Christmas list?
Well, I pretty much scored everything I wanted to get at the last couple of Hamfests. I got this 991. Got a little bit better tube amplifier, that LA1000NT. And I even picked up a little Zygu X6100 to do some POTA with. So as far as radio equipment, I'm all set. Now, we're never completely all set. There's always a few little things. I know, an MMDVM, a new MMDVM to do some DMR with. Because my old one's in the bottom of a moving box, and it's not really that advanced of a setup. There you go.
Well, it's my understanding that Santa Claus is a ham operator as well, and I know he monitors a lot of different frequencies, so maybe he just heard what you were asking for as well. We never know. So, hey, listen, we'll let you go. Gosh, it's good to hear you. And, again, congrats on the move. It sounds like things are working out for you there in Fort Wayne, and I look forward to many more QSOs with you as well. We always seem to have something to talk about. So, anyway, hey, enjoy the rest of your evening and the weekend coming up, and certainly look forward to the next time as well. Nice to hear you as always. Kilo Bravo Zero Tango Lima, now in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Previously Grain Valley, Missouri. Kilowatt Zero Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thanks, Sebastian.
Is that a break?
Take care, my friend. 7-3s. Kilowatt Zero Radio Whiskey Bravo. QRZ. Any other stations, please?
Whiskey Bravo.
There was a whiskey and a bunch of nonsense, and then I heard something Queen. Somebody was covering you up.
All right, Whiskey Italy 2 Queen, WI2Q in New Jersey.
Whiskey India 2 Queen. David, is that correct?
QSL.
Outstanding. Well, I'm not sure where the conditions are at, David, but anyway, got you that second time around. Want to make sure I get the calls correct so we get you guys here in the log. So thank you so much for giving us a call. Don't know if you heard the last one or not, but the name here is Randy. We're 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Playing a little radio this evening to make a few contacts. I'll take a look at the meter next go-round, but they had no problems hearing you that second time there. Go ahead.
Okay, so I've been there slow. Copy you very well. You're about a 5 and 9 here, 59, good copy. And you seem to be coming through very nicely with the band conditions the way they are to some degree. My name is Dave, as you got, and I'm in Lansing, New Jersey. And we're running about 150 watts to a G5RV up at about 50 feet there, Randy, over.
Yeah, well, it's doing okay. I've got you 5.7, 5 and 8. You're right about the band. I'm not sure how you're dealing with there, but I know here with me, stations start off a little weak, and boy, then they come on. So I think the band is kind of waving a hand at us this evening. Of course, I know there's been a lot of some unsettled weather that's been rolling through the Midwest, kind of heading your direction as well. I've had a couple stations in Tennessee that were talking about the rain today. So maybe that's got something to do with it. But, all we can do is try and call CQ and hope somebody answers. And so far, we've been lucky. The logger shows we're about 1,035 miles between us, and we've gotten good signal reports between us, so I think we'll be okay this evening there. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm copying you fine. No trouble at all, Randy.
Well, we do what we can with what we got. I mean, the antenna, nothing special. It's an inverted V about 38 foot off the side of the tower. And it seems to work. It's in a very unusual configuration. And I think it's worked so well, I don't want to mess with it and mess it up. So we'll leave it alone. But it seems as though we call CQ, a few people do come back. So I guess we're okay. And we'll just keep on plugging away with there. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, you sound good. You're coming through fine.
Well, it looks in my log at least, we've not had a contact between us, so I appreciate you giving us a call. I'll get you in the log here for the first time. As I've said earlier, we're actually live streaming here on YouTube as well. Kind of have some fun with that this evening. If you're interested to listen to our QSO, you can go to YouTube, or I got a link on my QRZ page. And the channel's my call, K0RWB. Look for the video with today's date on it. And about 20 minutes in, Dave, if you want to take a look and a listen, we've got our radio display on there as well. You actually see your own S-meter signal and the audio scope there as well. Roger?
Oh, it sounds like fun. Real cool. I'll have to check it out. I'm a YouTube junkie. I'm always watching YouTube. I'm always looking for new videos. I've seen so many of them on the air on YouTube. That's a real nice thing for you to do that. I'll definitely check that out. K0RWB. I'll look for that. That's the name of your channel. Is that correct, Randy?
Yeah, you can either go to YouTube and go to the search bar and put in my call, K0RWB, or if you go to QRZ to my page on QRZ, we've got a link. You can just click on that, and then of course look at today's date video. Yeah, I'm the same way. I tell you what, for as many channels there is out there on cable and everything else, there's a lot of times we like watching some of these folks on YouTube as well. And if you ever need to find out how to fix something, how something works, boy, it's really hard not to find what you're looking for on YouTube. And this is something we've been doing off and on for a couple of years. We have some fun with it because, David, very seldom do you get an opportunity to hear yourself on the air. And this is one way of doing it. We're having fun with it. I think other people enjoy it as well, so we'll continue doing it as long as that happens. But anyway, appreciate you giving us a call here this evening, and we'll see if we can make a few more contacts. And really enjoyed our short QSO, and hopefully we'll have many more, hopefully before the year's out as well. As I said earlier, we got our Christmas train event coming up on the 23rd to the 25th. There's 5 of us out there with different special event calls. So if you hear any of us out there, give us a call. We'd love to get you in that log as well. And anyway, thanks for hanging in there. Glad we had a chance to chat, and I look forward to the next one as well. Whiskey India 2, Quebec. This is Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you, David. Have a good evening.
Okay, you too have a good evening as well. I'm just breaking in a new rig here. I'm using a Yaesu FT101 mic popper, and I'm still learning how to use it. So I haven't touched anything since it got out of the box. So this is what it sounds like right out of the box. Thanks so much for your time, Randy, and you have a nice weekend coming up. K0RWB, this is Whiskey India 2 clean off of you, 7-3.
Okay, David. Hey, real quick before you run, now that I know you've got the 101, tell me really quick, what do you think of my audio?
Your audio sounds really good. I'm impressed. Are you using the same radio, or what are you using?
I've got the FTDX10, but the audio settings are from a 101. And if you'd like to get these settings that I have just as a baseline, maybe as a starting point, I'm good in QRZ. Send me an email. I'd be happy to send out the settings, and maybe we can figure out a time where we can get together on the air and kind of play with it as well there, Roger?
Yeah, that sounds like a plan, because I haven't touched the audio for fear of screwing it up. A lot of people told me that it sounds real good already, so I figured if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know?
Well, I'll tell you what, one thing about these radios is small adjustments give you big results. There are a couple of three things really simple to look at is the processor. Doesn't need a lot of processing. You'll get a little bit more of a punch with the mic EQ on, and the AMC should be around 50 to 55. The rest of it, you and I can figure out. To be happy to help you.
Okay, well, thanks so much for your help there, Randy. We look forward to it. The radio sounds great. I was going to get the pen, and then I decided when I saw the Black Friday prices, my credit card just jumped out of my wallet and said, hey, Dave, you really need to buy this. You'll never get a chance to do it again.
I can understand that as well. All right, David, like I said, if I can help, you send me an email, and we'll certainly see what we can do for you. Anyway, again, enjoy the rest of the evening. You take care. 7 3s. QRZ, Kilowatt Zero, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Any other stations, please?
Bravo Kilo.
Was there a kilo question mark number 9, and then it was garbled again? It was
Alpha Delta Niner Bravo Kilo.
Alpha Delta 9 Alpha Kilo, is that correct?
Bravo Kilo, QSL.
Well, we'll do the Bravo instead. I like Alpha, but let's try the Bravo. So if I did it right, this would be David.
Roger that in Bartlett. I've been listening to you, and I just put up my very first outdoor antenna just to end fed. Only running from a fed post 6 feet up to my second floor, and I'm surprised it's working. Over.
You're 5 and 7 in my receive here, just outside of Kansas City. Hey, no problem. Take it while you can there. So, hey, congrats. Of course, on 40 meters, you can do really well with 100 watts and a piece of wire, and it's certainly working okay for you as well, there, Roger.
Yeah, Roger that, and that's exactly what I'm running, 100 watts and a wire. But anyway, the difference between my dipole indoors, running down a hallway, and having one outdoors is just immense. I'm dreaming about the tower and the real, beam antennas but down the road, but just got my ticket this year and taking it slow, over.
Hey, that's okay. Getting on the air is always the biggest challenge, of course. And what you do, the rest of it always seems to take care of itself. And looking at the page here, correct me if I'm wrong, but the radio there on the left-hand side, 7610, or is that a 101? It's hard telling.
No, it's a 7610. I had a 7300, and I was given the 7610 as a gift, and I love it so far. Over.
Well, I need to get in your circle of friends, if that's the case, if they're giving out those kind of gifts.
That friend happens to be the wife, but that's okay. I'll take it. I'm retired, and she loves the fact I'm keeping real busy. Keeps me away from her TV, if you know what I mean. And I love the radio. Over.
Yeah, good for you. Some people say, well, I just sit in my chair all day and talk. Well, yes and no, but, it's certainly a lot of stimulating other senses, of course. And I find it, me personally, as many people as I'm able to talk with a limited amount of time that I have in front of the microphone, that I always seem to pick something up from just about everybody I talk with. And that's one thing I do like about the hobby, where there's a lot of operators, a lot of varied backgrounds and experiences, and a lot of people are willing to share information and so forth, and that's really kind of the name of the game for for amateur radio, and that's certainly a thing that really appeals for me. Roger?
Yeah, Roger that. I'm in total agreement. My project right now is RF in the shack. I don't have any problems, but I'm reading books on grounding and what I should be doing, and I just love it. I love it. I'm a sponge for learning this stuff, and like you said, there's a whole lot of people out there who've been doing it for years, even decades, that they know what they're doing, and I'm all ears, if you know what I mean. Over.
Yeah, well, the interesting thing is there's so many different areas you can go into. Of course, POTA, Parks on the Air is a real big thing. I did the National Park program in 2016, really enjoyed that. But there's people that like to go out and run QRP and portable mobile operations, and people that experiment with different antennas. I mean, it's just amazing, the vast amount of talents that the operators that we have in this hobby, those skills that they possess. And it's a little mind-boggling for me sometimes because I'm not one of those guys. But I'm a little envious from time to time to listen to these conversations that people have and how they've been able to tweak things and make things work better. And it is quite envious of how well they're able to do it and how well they explain it. Again, that's a really neat thing about the hobby. We've got some really, really great people out there. We always share this common bond, of course, with radio. And, I tell people all the time, we may never, ever meet in person, but you become terrific friends over the air. And there's a lot to be said about that as well. And, if somebody needs help or a question or information, there would be, multiple operators jumping in trying to give their 2 cents to help somebody. And you don't find that in a lot of different situations, Roger?
Yeah, Roger that. Like I said, listening to these people helped me get through the tests, and any questions I got, or even more important, I do a lot of listening, being new, try to shut my mouth and open the ears, but I'll hear some conversations between some people about try this, try that, whatever, and I'm just writing it all down, if you know what I mean, over.
Yeah, I certainly do. Well, the question of the night here, and maybe you've answered, I'm not sure yet, but do you have anything special on your Christmas list?
Boy, that's absolutely not. The only thing special on my list is making sure that the grandkids got everything they want. For myself, I'm looking at it right now, if you know what I mean. It's my new equipment here, over.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Of course, there's no wrong answer, of course. You said you've been listening for a while, so maybe you caught that we're actually live on the YouTube on our channel tonight, but it's also recording. And, it's amazing just how this works as well. And I find it kind of fun to be able to take two mediums, two different sets of technologies and putting them together, which I think is kind of cool. And I know there's others that have done it a lot better, and there's more operators out there who are doing it. But gosh, I get such a kick out of it just because, you just it's out there, and you can always go back and listen to it. And I do that quite often. I try to pick out things that people have said or information that people have provided, and I just sit there and grin listening to these conversations that we've had, and it's a lot of fun. And when you tell people, hey, we're actually doing this live, and it's recorded, and they're like, oh, I can go back and listen to it myself. And they're just, some people are just dumbfounded that actually exists. And 2 years ago, I would have laughed at you if I said that's not possible. But here we are. And again, that's just it's kind of how the amateur radio is just kind of morphed into other specialties as well. And I don't think there's any end in sight.
Yeah, Roger that. I'm at your channel right now, the YouTube channel, and I'll be listening when we're done chatting here. The band is really fading on me. In and out, I hear most of what you're saying, but I want to say 7-3 in case we lose each other, and I'll be checking out your channel, K0RWB. This is AD9BK, and thanks for the contact. I enjoyed the chat. Back to you.
Yeah, no problem at all, David. My pleasure, of course. Thanks to have you in the log for the first time. I will tell you, 4 contacts on my log, you become a regular here on the channel. We have a big party in your name, throw confetti, and have all kinds of fun. So keep that in mind as well. Hi. Hey, enjoy the rest of your Thursday, the weekend coming up as well. And if you hear us out here again, by all means, give us a call. We'd love just kind of pick it up where we left off. Who knows? You could be the only contact I have. You can never tell. But anyway, really enjoyed it. Congrats on having just a great friend there that gives out gifts. if there's any leftovers, don't forget about little guys like me, of course. So anyway, you take care, and we'll say 7-3s. Alpha Delta 9, Bravo Kilo. This is Kilowatt Zero Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you again, 7-3s.
7-3.
All right, QRZ, K0RWB. Any other stations, please?
Whiskey Yankee 8 Golf. 8 Papa.
The Whiskey 8 station, I'm sorry, try it again.
Whiskey Yankee 8 Golf. Bruce, talked to you last month, I think, Randy. Go ahead.
Whiskey Yankee 8 Golf, is that correct?
That's correct, QSL.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, actually on the 17th, Bruce. Yeah. And that's really not too long since I've been back on the air about that time. I thought we had a lot of stuff completed, but boy, it's amazing how some things raise their ugly head. But, I said, by golly, we've got some time tonight. We're going to find some way to get on the air. So here we are. Nice to hear you again.
Okay, Randy. Yeah, I was upstairs eating a later supper, and the wife came home, and I seen my phone dinged, and I looked down and saw that your channel was coming up, and I thought, is this a former video, or do I come down here and get on the radio? So here I am. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm glad you did. Thanks for taking the time. I certainly don't want to interrupt a meal, of course, but yeah, you know what? We're doing better than some, worse than others. Nothing that we're going to complain about. Won't do any good. I think every day we get up and have a cup of coffee, it's everything past that point to gravy. And we've been managing to do that, of course. Getting close to that special holiday days coming up here pretty soon, which also we're going to have our special event. The Christmas train will be rolling down the tracks again this year. We're looking forward to that. As I was telling the operator earlier, we've got a few more operators or associate conductors with us this year. It's going to be a really, really good time. Looking forward to it. So this is one of my favorite times of the year anyway, just because what it brings out, especially in the amateur radio world as well. I mean, there's everybody just really into sharing, and everybody's got really good attitudes and really wanting to express that, and also give the salutations for the holidays as well. So we're certainly enjoying it, and I wish we could do it year-round. I guess we probably could, but I guess we couldn't give out gifts every day, though, Roger.
That'll be fine for you.
Yeah, no, I'm not quite that rich to do that all the time. I'd like to, but you're bouncing in here about approaching 20 over 9. Not doing too bad. I know you got I think you said the inverted V, and you didn't want to touch it. It's working good, and sounds good from here. I'm on a doublet built for 160, and I think it still needs some tuning up, but yeah, the time of year right now for Christmas, we look forward to the kids and the grandkids and seeing their eyes light up and do all the stuff that way. And it's more for them than, I really couldn't care less if I didn't get anything from anybody, but it's I've had my time with that, and I'll take whatever anybody wants to give me, but right now I'd just like to have the knowledge to build a better wire antenna or something, getting on 160 and all that kind of stuff. K0RWB from Whiskey Yankee 8 Golf.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bruce, what you're saying isn't a lot of different than a lot of us are as well. And so I would say if you have anything special on your Christmas list, you covered it or not. I've had that question posed to me quite a few times here the last couple of days. We also have a birthday this month, so we do kind of get slighted sometimes. Having a birthday in the same month as Christmas kind of hurts a little bit, but you get to the point where you're like, you know what, I don't need anything. If there's something I want, I'll just go get it. Of course, that kind of takes away the spirit of Christmas, so that has happened a couple of times where I have to point out, well, this is what I'd like, but could I get it early? Those kind of things there. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I heard some guys talking on AM broadcast the other day about people who have their birthdays in December and how they're slighted. My son, he was born the 27th of December, and we try to keep it separate for him and make it special both ways. So I can only imagine how. Well, and then the guys are talking about imagine people who are born right on the 25th. As a birthday gift for you or for Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. Well, mine's actually coming up next week, and so you got a little bit of a break, but But still, years ago, maybe that make a difference. But, like most of us, as time goes on, we've got things, we've accumulated things, and there's only so much stuff you have. I actually feel a lot better when I declutter. I'd rather have less stuff than more stuff, believe it or not. It's not a contest to see how much stuff you get. At least I don't think so. Because I'll tell you what, Bruce, I have never seen a U-Haul behind a hearse. So I kind of like that declutter philosophy, and we try to do that whenever we can. So if something new comes in, 2 old things have to go out, and that does seem to be a little easier. It's a lot less things to pick up and a lot less things to vacuum there. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad I don't have a camera down here in the basement where I'm at right now with the shack or out in the garage. I've been trying to get rid of a few things, and we're doing pretty good that way, but yeah, I'm with you, same way. People ask me what I want for, birthday, Father's Day, or Christmas, and the things I want, I wouldn't expect them to spend that much money and spend other little things. I mean, like a ballon or something maybe, but I think I did have my daughter last year. She got me some cores, for making my own ballons. I did get those, and I made a ballon out of it. So they look at you, sideways. What are you going to do with that? I tell them what it is, and we try to explain things to them. Make a routine. They just say, "Okay, well, let me know how to get it, and I'll get it for you." So, but you feel kind of weird doing that sometimes. WYAG.
Yeah, I get it. I certainly do. I know the looking sideways. I did ask a couple of times for a 66 Mustang convertible, and that was a flat-out no. So that's okay. We've kind of gone past that. So, I can live with it. It's not a problem. Nice to hear you again, of course. This is number 2, halfway there to number 4 for the group, of course. And we're glad that we had a chance here this evening. One, to get in front of the mic, and for you and I to kind of reconnect again. Hopefully we'll have an opportunity to get you in the log during the Christmas train, one of the 5 out there, see how that goes. But we've got to the bottom of the hour here, Bruce, a little bit more time, see if we can make a couple more contacts. But glad that you got in there this evening. Glad we had a chance to chat again. I appreciate you taking the time. I didn't want to interfere with your dinner, of course. And I'm glad to see the notification thing works on the phone there. It's pretty cool. But appreciate your support. Always nice to hear you. I look forward to many more. Hopefully we'll get a few more before the end of the year as well. So, hey, we'll say 7-3s. Thank you to the wife for letting you come down on the radio there. So you enjoy the rest of your evening and the weekend coming up, my friend, and I know we'll have a chance to chat again. Whiskey Yankee 8 Golf, Kilowatt Zero Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you, Bruce. You have a great night.
Alpha Charlie 9er X-ray November.
There's no problem there. And just, are you doing these once a month, or how's this working?
Well, the intent was 2 to 3 days a week. And when I started this again back in November, some of the things we thought we had gotten resolved kind of came back up again. We had to divert our attention to those areas, so to speak, so we weren't able to get there. So I'm trying to get as much time as I can. I can't really set a schedule just yet. And the only thing I can tell you, it's working like what you just said. To those that have hit the bell, notification bell, that when I go on, that people know that if they wish to stop and listen or check in or say hi, then you can. So I really don't have anything so far, Bruce.
Okay, I was just wondering, but yeah, as long as I got the phone and it dings at me, I can at least know you're there and come down and turn on the radio. So I won't hold it here. If I don't hear from you before the end of the year or Christmas, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And if I see you again around here, I'll try to bounce another signal toward you. K0WRWB. This is Whiskey Yankee 8 Golf 7-3.
Now, thank you so much, Bruce. You take care. 7-3s. I did hear an Alpha Charlie 9 station, I believe. You come back with the call again, please.
Alpha Charlie 9er X-ray November 59 Indiana. Over.
A 5-9 in Indiana. Well, let me see what I got here next go around. I appreciate you hanging in there. I think I did hear you kind of come in there at once, so I appreciate you taking the standby there. Wanted to finish off with our friend Bruce, but I'll look at it again. If I type it in right, this would be George. Is that a Roger?
Roger, Roger. And you're Randy, is that correct?
Yes, sir. I have been for a couple of years. Appreciate it. Looks like the log says second contact for us back in June the 3rd. Here on 40, so nice to get a chance. I guess we're doing this every 6 months now. Is that it, George?
No, I was just going through the band, and the band is really bad up here. And between 7220 and 7230, it's clear, and you are booming in. Over.
Well, I wish I could take credit for it, but it's got to be, well, we're not that far apart. The log shows 388 miles, so I'll take it. Good signal on you. You're 5'9" plus here, so no issues hearing you either there, Roger.
Well, I was trying to work on my QRZ winter certificate, and I thought I'd just go up and down the band and see if I can make some contact. Over.
Well, I don't blame you. I do the same thing. It's interesting that you say that because I had a conversation with a gentleman last month. He was doing his own contest. It was really quite interesting, and his contest was to work 100 different transceivers. They didn't have a time frame that I'm aware of, but they had to have 100 different transceivers. I thought that was a quite interesting contest and quite a challenge there, Roger.
Well, now that's quite a challenge because you're assuming that 100 different contacts have 100 different transceivers, and these days almost everybody is using an ICOM or a Yaesu. Over.
Yeah, well, interesting you say that. He did tell me he had one contact with a gentleman out in Arizona, and he was able to operate off of 10 different radios. Elecraft, there was a few others in there as well. He thought that was quite a kick. And I was talking, I went back to him when I was listening, and I happened to be number 83. I've got an old Kenwood TS-140 that he had not talked with anybody yet, so I got on his list as well. I thought that was a pretty cool contest. And another one I've done with a friend of mine, now check this one out. This one I might try to move a little bit farther with, but I've tried this with a friend of mine, worked all bands in 24 hours.
And how many contacts on each band?
You have to have a confirmed contact on all bands in 24 hours. Not as easy as it sounds.
And that includes 6 meters and 160. Over?
That is correct.
Oh, no, that's quite a challenge. I don't think I'm up for that one.
I did it one time because, 6 isn't open very often. At least it's not for me here. But, one time. It's a challenge in 24 hours. And the thing is, we both had to make sure that we would upload to LOTW for that confirmation. And it was just something we can put in the back of our minds to say, hey, this is what we did. And, it was quite a bit of work.
Yeah, I can imagine it's quite a bit of work. I don't think I'm up for that. Over.
Well, I didn't think so either, but it was something I thought, hey, let's see how this thing goes. This could be fun.
Yeah, but as far as 100 different radios, my policy is every time I get a new radio, 2 old radios have to go. Over.
Well, I can understand that, George. I was mentioning that to Bruce here in Ohio just a few minutes ago. I love the declutter philosophy. So if something new comes in, 2 old ones have to leave. So kind of the same mantra that you're talking about.
Well, I told my girlfriend, Margareta, I said, we're going to go through the house, and anything I haven't used in 20 years has to go. Over.
Well, that makes sense. I was told that if there's something you haven't used in 3 weeks, you probably won't use again. It's maybe a good idea to get used to it. Mine is pretty simple. I look at some of the pairs of pants, and I look at the waist side. I said, there's no way we're getting back to that. So off they go to other lands and hopefully get repurposed.
Yeah, well, I was thinking more about tools and things like that. I used to be a contractor, and there's all kind of tools that I have that I know I will never use because I'm in my mid-70s and I'm not doing manual labor.
Oh no, you're exactly right. I'm at the point in my life as well that I don't want tools. I want toys.
There you go, buddy. More toys. Keep in contact with Santa. The Christmas train will be rolling, right?
Yeah, we're hoping so. We're going to be starting on the 23rd to 25th this year. We had 4 days last year. We've got five trains, so to speak, and we only had 5 operators, and that was quite an endeavor over a 4-day period. So we've got we have some additional associate conductors with us this year. We're hoping we're a little bit bigger and better, so to speak. Last year was a huge success. We're hoping to have a good one this year as well, as long as the bands play with us. We're going to be spreading it out a little bit more. We're going to be trying to work some other bands that we didn't do last year. Of course, it's going to dictate by propagation, of course, but we're looking forward to it. I've got a whole stack of cards sitting here. I am the QSL manager, so last year I was averaging about 70 pieces of mail a day for about the first 6 or 7 weeks. I have anticipated that will probably happen again, but it's still fun anyway, though, right?
Well, this year, if I'm real energetic, I might try for the clean sweep, over.
Yeah, do that. You know, there's interesting you say that. We had so many operators last year that were so close that had just gotten 4, and I felt really bad because a couple of them was me, because I was November 0 Tango, and I felt really bad that we weren't able to get those contacts. But hopefully we can rectify the situation this year. Again, we have multiple operators for different calls. We're not running 24/7, mind you, but we're going to have a lot more coverage during the time frame that we had last year. So hopefully it'll be a good event for everybody, and that everybody checks in. It should be fun.
Well, last year I thought I would do the 13 colonies because it would be the 13th anniversary, and I got 12, and I didn't get 13, and I told Margaretta, well, I don't know, I'm going to get this last one, and I just happened to come out here, and I heard somebody calling, and I got on there, and lo and behold, it was number 13, so I got 13 for 13 on the 13th anniversary, over.
That's awesome. Yeah, see, those are the great things about this hobby that, you know, always stick with people. There's some of those special events and those special contacts that you have. And, you know, those are always things, and those are great conversation pieces. When you're calling CQ and somebody answers and you're just having a conversation, and those are the things that other people like to hear. I'm the same way. We like to hear those kind of stories. Again, and I'm never bored with this hobby. It surprises me every time that we get on the air of different operators and things that happen. So it's really, really interesting. And congrats for doing that, hitting the 13s like that. A lot of people can't say that. So hopefully, working off of that, we can get you on the clean sweep as well this year.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give it a shot. We'll see what happens, over.
Yeah, well, it won't be from a lack of trying, I hope, and I hope it works out for you as well. I will tell you this really quick, and then I need to move on. We've got a few more minutes. We had, over the 4 days, we had over 23,000 lookups on QRZ. So a lot of people were interested in what we were doing.
23,000 lookups. I'm very impressed, over.
Yeah, because I was in charge of all the different calls, and of course I set the counter, and then I just kind of added them all together, of course, and yeah, just a little over 23,000 lookups. Now, it doesn't mean they actually checked in or got into the logs, but we had that many people that actually went to one of those pages. I thought that was pretty impressive, and I don't have the numbers in front of me about the number of contacts, but it was a pretty good ratio, and I was doing the QSL cards by hand, and I get writer's cramp there quite a little bit, but again, I wouldn't change it for the world. We're glad to do it. I know a lot of people enjoyed it. You know, a lot of people had their grandkids with them. We were able to play our train whistle on the air as well. I know people enjoyed it. That's why we're really looking forward to do it again this year.
Okay there, Kilo Zero Romeo Whiskey Bravo. This is Alpha Charlie Niner X-Ray November. A real pleasure talking to you again, Randy. Sounding real good. I'm going to log our call on QRZ. I'm going to work on my winter certificate, and I'll be clear on your final 73.
Yeah, George, very nice to hear you again. Sounds good. And pleasure's all mine. Glad we had a nice little conversation, but hopefully we'll do it again, and we'll hear you here in a couple of weeks as well. We'll say 7-3s for you now, man. Thanks for hanging around. Glad we get a chance to chat again. Alpha Charlie 9, X-Ray November, Kilowatt Zero, Radio Whiskey Bravo. 7-3, George. All right, we've got a couple more minutes here. Before I forget about it, we'll check here real quick. Any QRP portables or mobiles? If there's any stations out there under that category, QRP portables or mobiles, come with the call, please. Now, try it one more time. Any QRP portables or mobiles? No, nothing heard. We'll give it a go. QRZ, any other stations, please come with the call.
Romeo Bravo Yankee.
It sounds like David out there. Kilo Bravo 8 The Kilo Bravo 8. Try it again.
It's Kilo Echo 8 Romeo Bravo Yankee.
I didn't think you'd catch that. I was wondering when I'd hear you again, David.
Oh, roger that. I haven't been on here. I've been playing sanitary engineer for the last few days. And other than that, it's just kind of been quiet.
Yeah, I know the feeling. The last couple of weeks is kind of like the last few months have gone. And first time we've been back in front of the microphone for a couple of weeks. Feel a little rusty in the beginning, but I think we're starting to get the hang of it. Hey, tell me real quick, did you happen to get something in the mail?
Hey, yes, I did, and I thank you very much.
Well, I felt bad when we talked last, and you said you didn't have the opportunity, but you were sure trying. And to me, that's it means a lot in my book, and it's the least I could do, and I'm glad I could do it for you.
Oh, roger that. Very much appreciated. Like I said, I wasn't expecting that, so thank you very much.
Well, doesn't that make it mean a little bit more if you don't expect it?
Oh, roger that. Yes, it does.
No, I'm glad to do it, David. You know that we've talked so many times the last year or so. More than happy to do it, and you know, we've got the cards, and you know, it's a lot different if you don't mention or don't try. But I know you were trying to get in, and we just weren't able to connect, so that's still okay in my book. But good signal for you this evening. Good solid 5 and 9 again as usual. So I know the band has been kind of sporadic on kind of the outer fringes, but anybody within 700 or 800 miles in, I've seen they have good connections with, and you're doing okay there as well.
Yeah, roger that. Appreciate it. You're good, solid 5'9". And like I said, I just got the notification. It's been one of those evenings. I won't go into it tonight because it gets cut short on time. But it's been one of those evenings. So when I saw the notification, I jumped on.
Well, I appreciate that. I know you've been out there. As much as I've been out there, you have been too, and we certainly appreciate your support in that as well. Always nice to hear you, of course, and I keep looking at my log sheet, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. We've had so many contacts, but that's okay. That's what it's all about. You know how that works, so it's just kind of one of the cool things about the hobby. You know, we're able to make that contact. We'll just keep on putting them in there, Roger.
Roger that. How did the survey come out on new radio or new amp?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm glad you mentioned that. Let me look here real quick. I got that right here in front of me. Actually, the amplifier won. Amplifier, it was a close race. We had 27 for radio, and we had 31 for amplifier.
Roger that. I was just curious, because that's one of those, like you said, it's one of those fun things to do.
Well, you know, it all depends on where you're at in your amateur career. Some people would like to update to a newer radio, and they've got amplifier that does what they want. And, you know, unless they've been abused, most of the amplifiers run for quite a long time. And there's some people, that's the last puzzle of their shack. And it just, you know, it could probably change every night that I put that question out there. Those numbers could change. But that particular night, the amplifier is not a big number. You know, it's pretty darn close. But I was kind of surprised. Of course, I voted as well, and I voted for the amplifier side, so I don't know if that was a winning vote or not, but there was a 3 or 4 vote difference, but it was still kind of fun to do that. So we got to ask you got anything on your Christmas list here today?
No, I'm kind of like you are. My birthday's the 21st, so Christmas and birthday fall together. The wife did give me an early one before deer season, so I am very happy with what I got.
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's real good. I got a feeling I know what that is. I got a good friend of mine. He's also my fishing partner. He's going out Saturday. He got an early present from his YL, and he got the bow sighted in, and he's going out on Saturday with it, and he's pretty excited. We don't have anything per se to speak of on the Christmas list. we do a meal and those kind of things, and we're good. Anything I need, I just go get it myself, because if I tried to explain it to the family, they just kind of scratch their head. So, and I understand that's kind of common, but no worries. You get to the point in your life, hey, it's great for the kids, and we're just hoping they're happy.
Roger that. Yeah, the wife, if I say something, that's what she usually keeps in on for the year, and that's that. And like you said, it's for the kids. I'm like you are. We got pretty much what we want, and if we want it, when we can afford it, we go get it.
That's exactly right. You betcha. David, I got a couple more minutes. I hate to cut you off here, but I'll see if I can get another call or two before the bottom of the hour. But, as always, don't be a stranger. You never are. We've got you in here just about every time I'm on the air. You seem to get in here as well. I can go back and look at it, but no problem. Hopefully we can get you on the upcoming event there with the Christmas train as well. And hopefully we can get you one of those logs. But always good to hear you. Sound good here as usual. Nothing's really changed. You always have a good signal, of course. I think we got a good pipeline between us. So, hey, listen, enjoy the rest of your Thursday, the weekend that's coming up as well. And hopefully I'll talk to you before then. If not, have a good birthday here on the 21st. Mine's next week, but I ain't giving out today. And I ain't saying how old I am. I feel bad enough the way it is. Anyway, take care, my friend. Always good to hear you, David. Thank you so much for your support. And, again, I'm glad we could get that card out to you. I know it meant a lot to me, and I think it does for you as well. Anyway, you take care. Nice to hear you again, as always. Kilo Echo 8, Romeo Bravo Yankee, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo.
73, Randy.
All right, take care. I got time for another call or two. See what we can do here at the bottom of the hour. QRZ, any stations, please.
9 Kilo Sierra. Kilo Victor, November.
Was it a Kilo, something Kilo Sierra? I got to turn this detonator back a little bit. There's something, I think it was a Kilo Sierra. Try it again.
November 9 Kilo Victor. Over.
Everybody's coming in at about the same time, right at the noise level, guys. I'm not trying to make it hard for any of us. If I can't pull the call out, I can't get you in the log. So my apologies here. Maybe the band will kind of roll up here real quick, and somebody turn the volume up here. We'll try it again and see if we can get you. Try it again there. Go ahead. QRZ.
November 9 Kilowatt Sierra.
Well, that one I can live with. November 9 Kilowatt Sierra. Ken, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. I just want to make a quick comment. You talk about the activities. When they first came out with this Parks on the Air, I thought, that can't be fun. And it just blossomed like crazy, and it's real fun for us old-timers to make contact with guys set up in the parks, and the public can see it. Good for ham radio, and really appreciate that. QTH here is just south of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and the name is Ken, Kilo Echo Norway. And carry on. You're doing a great job here. N9KS.
Well, I appreciate it, Ken. My apologies for trying to get the call there, but a couple of jumped at the same time, and the band is, for me, it's kind of wavering back and forth, and I always want to make sure I can get the calls correctly so we get them in a log right as well. So I appreciate your persistence and your patience. Good signal, 5.7 to 5.8 here into the Kansas City area. We're not that far away, of course, but no problems. Yeah, the interesting about the Parks on the Air, that was a spinoff, of course, of the National Park program, which I did in 2016, and really, really enjoyed that. Had a great time. Covered a lot of national parks in about 5 different states at the time, which was a lot of fun. And interesting about the state, I believe that the state level on the Parks on the Air, there's just a vast amount of parks, and I can see that program just going on for just ever and ever and ever. And the operators, you can hear the enthusiasm in their voice, and the chasers as well. I think it's a great thing. It does add something to the hobby, and I think it's something that will continue to grow. I know a lot of people know new operators are into it as well, and some of the more established operators. I think it's a great thing, and it's interesting to list them out there when they're calling out those different sites there, Roger.
Absolutely. Yeah, I got to give them credit for making the setups and getting antennas up and getting the gear going. And the pileup, everyone has got pileups, but if you're patient, you can work through a little bit. So,
Okay, just carry on. And it's good with, we got a nice station, nice signal, and a lot of nice talking about the ham radio stuff. Try to keep them moving. I encourage my great-grandchildren all the way down to get interested in it. Have some fun. I'm from the first generation, so crystal sets got me hooked way back when. And you take care. I'm down the floor. 7-3.
Yeah, no problem at all, Ken. Thank you for giving us a call. Nice to work you here for the first time. If you hear us again, of course, give us a call. We try to get out here as much as we can, especially here on 40 meters in the evening. So we'll just get an opportunity to pick it up where we left off. Again, we've got that special event come up over the Christmas train. Hopefully we'll get a chance, if you're out and about and you hear us, we'd like to give you in that log as well. So anyway, enjoy what's left of the Thursday night, the weekend coming up, and I hope you and yours are doing well and will continue to do so. So you'll take care, and we'll say 7-3s, November 9, Kilo Sierra, Kilowatt Zero, Radio, Whiskey Bravo. We'll say 7-3s, Ken. Take care. Okay, we got time for one more call. We're a little bit past it, but we want to finish on a high note. I've got time for one more call, please. QRZ. The Mike Sierra Oscar station.
Kilo 7, Mike Sierra Oscar. You're coming loud and clear into Missoula, Montana.
Okay, Kilo 7, Mike Sierra Oscar. Michael, is that correct?
You're hunting tonight, so heard you talking about sparks on the air, so I thought I'd check in.
My apologies. If I type it in right, Mike or Michael, is that correct?
Mike, normally, Michael when I'm in trouble with my wife.
Okay. Well, not tonight, I hope, anyway. Well, thank you very much. Other than contact in Colorado, you are by far the farthest to the west of us. My QTH here, we're 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. We like to think we're on the right side, the Missouri side. The name again to here is Randy. And, 1,140 miles between us. Nice to see we're getting some conditions out in your direction there. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're doing fine. You picked me right up out of the pile up there. So I just got a multi-band dipole stuck in the trees as high as a broom could toss it over each branch on the way across a line of 10 of trees on our border of our property. And thought, geez, I looked at the waterfall, and 40 meters in single sideband is doing excellent tonight. And you guys were the first I zeroed in on, and you're just booming in here. Nice. Even the bass is good. I guess you don't have compression turned on, and that's just fine. It's working well for you.
Yeah. Well, we've been pretty fortunate. We've had pretty much success tonight on contacts, and by and large, the stations have had really good signals as well. Of course, the band's got to be there, and it seems like propagation's okay. It's been wavering a little bit as well. I will say this real quick. Congratulations, very impressive. We've got your QRZ page pulled up, and you didn't do that in 5 minutes. That's a nice little biography that you've got here throughout your career. And by the way, thank you for your service in the Navy, I believe, is what I saw there. Very nice to see that as well. And interesting, the astronaut with the Hot Wheels in the background. So you were trying to cover your bases as well, Roger?
Yeah, I had a toe in each thing there as a little kid.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think we all had. I had something similar to that, but I actually had the Kansas City Chiefs football gear on, and I had my Hot Wheels track behind me. I think there's a picture runner like that. So, hey, no worries. But yeah, very impressive page. Very nice the setup you've got there. Interesting. We've not had a contact before, so nice to have you in the log here the first time as well, there, Roger.
Yeah, I'm just trying to focus on CW. I got to the wall at 13 words per minute, and I'm trying to get past that. I wasn't listening. On sending CW, I can be fine, or I can it's like I just cut the lawn and my hand can't do it. So I'm working on quality there. But great to talk to you guys. Now, what's your call sign?
Yeah, the call here, again, is Kilowatt Zero, Radio, Whiskey Bravo, K0, Red, White, and Blue.
Now that's a good call sign. So the MSO for me is that's the identifier for the airport. MSO is the airport, and the weather station is WX7 MSO.
Yeah, we certainly understand that. Well, you'd be interesting. I don't know how long you've been listening or not, but we're actually live on my YouTube channel. It's also recording. You should give a look and a listen to see how you sound on the air there. Go ahead.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, I'll have to do that. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. Wife wants to talk Christmas presents, and she's saying Michael. So I got to go. 73s, and have a great night, everybody.
All right. Hey, thanks for stopping in. Feel free to come back anytime you hear us out there. Appreciate you taking the time. Yeah, wraps of presents. If you got any leftovers, I can shoot you my address. Feel free to send them this way. No bills, just presents. So anyway, thanks again. Enjoy your evening and the weekend coming up. Kilo 7, Mike, Sierra, Oscar, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thanks again, 7-3s.
73.
All right, we're going to have to cut it close. I hope there's no other stations out there. If not, we do apologize. A few minutes past the bottom of the hour. Appreciate everybody taking the time. Glad we got some contacts. We hope to be back out here again real soon. Thanks, everybody, for being out there. Really enjoyed it. And contacts and the operators sounded really good. This is Kilowatt 0 Radio Whiskey Bravo in Kansas City. We're going to be clearing QRT.